So you have some sort of mutant girlfriend in Sons of the Forest. What's going on, guys, and welcome to another new video. Today I wanted to talk about every infos we got on the sequel of the highly acclaimed survival game The Forest, Sons of the Forest. After the huge success of The Forest, the indie developer Endnight Games decided to develop the sequel, Sons of the Forest. It was obvious that Endnight Games wants to make a sequel. I mean, The Forest has sold over 5.3 million copies as of November 2018 on Windows alone. In November 2018 the game also launched on PS4 and it had many sales since then, so the number must be much higher right now. Really great for an indie dev like Endnight Games. Although it still seems like they can't afford a social media manager, judging by the look of the official YouTube channel. Anyway, usually I'm not into survival games, because most of them are pretty boring and there are tons of them. But for some reasons I've really enjoyed playing The Forest, and that's why I'm excited for its sequel. As of right now there are more infos on the game than some might think, nothing on their official website, and their social media pages also aren't really helpful. However, there are 3 interviews with tons of informations. 2 of them with a YouTuber called Farcat. He's a YouTuber who makes a lot of videos on survival games. Check his channel out, I think he really needs my support, otherwise he wouldn't get any attention. And the other interview was with the news outlet The Escapist. Before I go into the exciting infos we got from the interview, I actually first want to take a look at the trailers. The announcement trailer, which was shown at the Game Awards, already gave us some small infos on the game. The first scene in the trailer shows that the game is connected to the predecessor in terms of story. You can see the name Zahara on the helicopter. Zahara is basically the umbrella of the forest, and the protagonist seems to be a member of this organization. This time around, the protagonist doesn't survive a plane crash. No, he survives a helicopter crash. The devs were really creative with this one. The trailer also shows this weird but important new character, this mutant girl who is humping a stone. Yeah, she does that, and it confirms that multiplayer is back and that you can get a shotgun. After that it was quiet for a long time, but then in December 2020 they've released the second trailer, and that one gives us much more infos than the first one. It shows us that we have this weird GPS device, how it looks like when you chop a tree, and the change in weather. Overall, I have to say the game looks really nice for an indie game, much better than the predecessor. Apparently we are going to travel alongside our stone-humping mutant girlfriend, and we can take care of her. I mean, look at how she's shivering. It wouldn't surprise me if we are able to keep her warm. At first I was a little bit worried that she might get a bit annoying, but some details in the interview, which I will talk about in a bit, gave me a better idea of her. There are going to be guns in this game. In the first trailer we already saw this shotgun, but now we can see the player shooting with a gun. They also added digging into the game, which looks nice, and it seems like there were normal people in this place. Judging by the look of the room we see in this trailer, it looks completely different than everything else in this world. There's a big TV, a kitchen, and so on. It still seems a bit creepy because it is abandoned and the place is a little bit messy. You're also able to print things with a 3D printer, like this mask he's holding. With this mask, the players are able to disguise themselves so that the cannibals won't attack, and that's really cool. Like in the predecessor, enemies are also going to attack the player's base. And finally they also showed some of the new weird enemies. This mutant vagina, who is called Fingers. You can't make that up. And this dude there, who's called Twins. Really creative names I would have never come up with. That are basically every infos from the trailer. Now I will go over to the infos we got from the interviews, and there are tons of additions. When it comes to the enhancements in terms of technology, they now obviously use the new version of Unity. That's why the shaders are much better than in the predecessor. The lighting is also much better, and they are now able to change the environment much more. In winter, for example, the water gets frozen. Only natural that they now have much more possibilities with the Unity engine. I mean, the engine has seen many improvements over the past years. They still use a software called Houdini for almost every aspect of the world. With that, they can create content much faster, which sounds awesome, so that the development doesn't take too long. And technology like this is nowadays pretty important for small indie teams. Endnight Studios also plans to enhance the terrible gamma settings from The Forest. It was just really dark during the night and in caves. They really need to improve that. It sucked. This time around they use motion capture for almost everything. That's why the animations look much smoother. And they also used photo scanning for the assets to give them an even better look. It really is interesting that a small indie studio uses all this technology that these big AAA studios normally use. I mean, on one hand they sold over 5 million copies, so people shouldn't expect anything else. But on the other hand, it still is an indie studio, and they are still small, they didn't hire many people. Not many indies have this opportunity, I guess. Now I will get to the more juicy informations we got on this game. Some people thought that Sons of the Forest might actually be a prequel to The Forest, but Endnight confirms that it is a sequel. That's nice. In terms of storytelling, they really want to expand the visual storytelling we got in the first game. They didn't give more details regarding this, so I guess we have to wait and see. The map of the game is based on the map we got to see at the end of the predecessor, but with some changes, because that's something that happens during game development. And the world will be 4 to 5 times bigger than in the predecessor. That worries me a bit. I don't like it when game worlds are this big. And the size of the predecessor was already fine. A little bit bigger could have been better, but 4 to 5 times seems too much. I guess I have to wait until I play this game. You may remember the sanity system from the first game, the one which got unnecessary after some updates. Yeah, surprisingly it probably won't return to the sequel. What a shame. 3D printing expands the crafting system. You can print additional items in order to assemble them into more complex items. You need to find resin in different colors in order to use the printer. That sounds really nice, and it will offer a deeper crafting system, which I'm all for. Also, the crafting will be much more visual. As far as I understand, it seems like they want to include some animations when you craft items. There will also be solar panels in the game. You will be able to charge up batteries with them. That's cool. The digging mechanic we saw in the trailer will be important for some traps, and you can also dig up some secrets. Building is more immersive and satisfying. The devs want to give the players more creativity. That's nice to hear. The building in the predecessor was a little bit too restricted. When it comes to combat, melee combat remains the focus, even though they only showed gun combat. They've put in a lot of work into the melee combat in order to enhance it, which I'm all for. The melee combat wasn't the best in the Forest. The ammo for guns will be heavily restricted, so that you only use it in emergencies. A wise decision. Fun fact, the guitar from the trailer, this one, is also actually a weapon. You can even play on it. There's nothing better than killing some cannibals with your guitar, then start playing on it. Now, the most exciting info we got on this game is that there will be dynamic seasons, which change the environment completely. In winter, for example, everything is covered in snow, and the dynamic seasons also change the ecosystem. Turtles, for example, only lay eggs in summer, and yeah, that's really cool. Probably, as of right now, the most exciting feature. AI is the main focus in this game. They've developed a new AI tool called Veil. With this, they can develop much more complex character AI. The cannibals, for example, can get afraid, hungry, thirsty, and even bored. And this also changes the way they attack. They even steal your log, as you can see in the trailer. The mutant woman isn't actually the girlfriend of the protagonist. At least that's what I think. Maybe she can be, who knows. Man can do a lot of things out in the wild, even sleep with a mutant. Anyway, she's a character we can interact with a lot. It's up to the players if we want to ignore her, take care of her, or even scare her off. I just hope that she isn't buggy and annoying. If so, then I will scare her off immediately. What else is there to say? Multiplayer will be included at launch, which is really good. Console versions aren't confirmed as of right now, but they confirmed that they will support the game for a long time. Hopefully like in the predecessor without any microtransactions. I hate them. There you have it, folks. This video turned out to be much longer than I originally intended. Didn't know that there is so much info out for this game. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Are you excited for this game? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you didn't, then give it a thumbs down. Thanks for watching and bye!